jumping in. This is Shalaya with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we are going over the team websites on command. So for the team websites, you do have to have the new website platform launched on your command in order to fully launch the team sites and have full access. So if you have not launched your new sites yet, that will be the first step in creating your team site. With the team sites, only team members that have enhanced or unlimited permissions on the team are going to have access to edit the team marketing profile. So if you are not able to access that to set up your team website, it may be due to your team permissions, and those might need to be adjusted on the back end. So to get started, the first thing is going to be to set up the team marketing profile. So again, only members with enhanced or unlimited permissions on the team will be able to edit or set that profile up. So you're going to find it the same way you do the standard marketing profile. However, for easier navigation, I would recommend going to your name in the top right. And before you go down to settings, I would toggle into the team profile first if you're not already on the team profile. So then once we're in the team profile, we'll then click on our name again in the top right. And then we are going to go down to settings. So to get to the marketing profile, we want to go to the left side menu and go under connect settings. And then that is where our marketing profile will be. So like I said, only enhanced or unlimited permissions are going to allow you access to edit the team marketing profile. We have ours set up with just standard permissions so that you can see what the difference is if you're not sure if you have access or not. So once you click into marketing profile, if you only have standard permissions and you don't have access, then the top is just going to say marketing profile, and it's going to look like your standard marketing profile here. Now, if you do have those enhanced or unlimited permissions set up, then when you go under the marketing profile here, you will then see that it says at the top, team marketing profile. So this is what you want to see to make sure that you are setting up the profile for the team. And you're also going to see when you go through it that there is a lot less options for the team marketing profile than there is for your personal marketing profile. So if you're going through the marketing profile and you're seeing all of these details here, then most likely this is your personal marketing profile and not the team marketing profile, and you don't have access to that. So for the team marketing profile here, first you have your toggle in the top right, which is what brands you're marketing to the team site. And then you have your team logo. So it does have a recommended size of 360 by 360 pixels. However, it is not required to be that size. If your team logo looks distorted at all within that preview, it will correct itself on your marketing. So you don't need to crop or adjust that for the logo. After you upload your team logo, your next items are going to be the team details. So you're going to need to put in your team name. If your team has a business slogan, you can add a slogan in there. However, that is not required. It is optional. The designations and credentials slot is also optional, so you don't need to put anything there. And then the team app link is still in the process of being updated. However, it is within the consumer section. So we will go over that later in the class today. So after the team details here, we then have affiliations. So for your team bio, the bio is going to be required. So you do want to make sure you have a bio in there. if you have a custom bio for the team, or if you just want to use your personal bio as a placeholder until you have a team bio, that's fine too. But that is a requirement for the profile. And then next is going to be the contact information. So your contact phone number for the team. You have the option for a fax number, however, that's not required. And the contact email for the team. So the number and email will be required in order to save your profile. And then your website domain, which typically will be your KW domain unless you are using a custom domain for your website. And then next under that is going to be your market center information. So some of this information is going to pull in automatically from the back end. So you might see that the first line for the market center brokerage name is grayed out. That's because it's automatically going to pull from your market center details and you cannot make changes to that. For the market center logo, that's going to be the same as the team logo. You do not need to crop it down to that recommended size. If it looks distorted or stretched out in that preview, it will correct itself automatically, so you don't need to adjust that manually. Next under that is going to be your forced registration limits for your team site. So this is going to work very similar to how the forced registration limits work on the personal websites. So you have the option to set forced registration for unrestricted, which you can see the descriptions there. It means that your clients or visitors can view unlimited properties without having to register on your website. You can set that to a maximum of 10 properties before they have to register, a maximum of 2 properties, or you can set that to no property viewing. So that's kind of going to be your personal preference there. Once they register on your site, they will enter the command database as a new lead. And then next under our registration limits is going to be our compliance items for our site. So you have your legal footer text box. So if there is any legal text that is required for compliance in your office, you can add that there. You have legal footer links. So some market centers do require links to the legal footers. For Texas agents, they do require those information about broker services forms. And New York agents need to have their standard operating procedure forms. So those can be added into the team site there. And then you have legal footer images at the bottom. So these are very small thumbnail size images. So they are not very large. So you probably don't want to use that for any type of advertising or anything like that. And then next under that is going to be our last sections here. It's going to be our social media links. So if you have social media business pages set up for your team, you can add those links here. Or if you simply just want to add in the pages owned by the Rainmaker, you can do that. That's going to be personal preference there based on what you want to advertise on your team site. And then at the bottom, there is going to be a spot for Google Analytics ID. So Google Analytics will be used to track traffic on your website. There is a spot to add that tracking ID within the marketing profile. And then there is also a spot on the back end of the website to add that in as well. If you don't have analytics set up and you want to get that set up, you can always send us over an email and we can help you set that up. So after you have your marketing profile set up and saved for the team, you're then going to be able to choose your website domain and set that website up. So you're going to save your marketing profile. And then once that refreshes, all the way at the top of the marketing profile, you are going to see this section to claim your team subdomain. Now, if you have a team domain that is linked to a personal site and you want to move that over to the team site, You will have to be logged into the command account that owns that domain. And then you can go into the marketing profile and choose the transfer subdomain option. And that will allow you to transfer the domain that you want to use from the personal site to the team site. And it will allow you to create a new domain for the personal site within the transfer process. So once you have your marketing profile completed, you can then go into the back end of your site a couple different ways here. So you can either click on the Edit My Team site within the marketing profile, or you can get to it through the Consumer tab. So I'm going to go through the Consumer tab for this because there is a couple things on that page that I'm going to show you before we jump into the actual website. So I'm going to jump back over to Command up here. And now we're going to go into the Consumer tab. So that's going to be the last option here on the left side menu. And if you are still getting familiar with these, you can click on that red KW in the top left, and that will bring out a description for each of these icons for you. So we can go into our website by clicking on the Edit My Website button here. However, before we do that, I will show you a couple things here. So the Consumer tab is always going to show you the subdomain for your personal site. So just keep in mind, if you want to change the team subdomain, you want to go back into the marketing profile to do that. You will not be able to change that here in the consumer page. This is just going to be linked to your personal website here. Under that, you're going to have some URL links here. So the first one is going to be your personal app URL. So that one is going to be linked to your personal profile and your personal marketing profile details. And then below that, you have a section for team referral links. So what each of these are is we have the team website URL. So this link is going to be unique to you. It's going to add your KW UID to the end of the URL here, which you can see. When someone uses this particular link, it will be connected to you as far as the contact forms or any new leads that pull into the team command account with you as the assignee. Next to that, we have the team app link. For the team app, this is the general team app link. So for this one, only the Rainmaker is going to be notified of new leads. However, the system will use lead routing to assign those leads out. So you may want to look into setting up lead routes if you want those leads to go somewhere in particular. And then last, we have the team member app link. So the difference between the team member app link and the personal app link up here is this team member app link is going to link to your team profile. So it's going to show the team marketing profile with your profile details and the team name. So if you want your information to be linked to the team, you can grab that app link here. Or if you just want to share your personal app link, you can grab that one there. So you have all your links here on one page. And then all the other options on this page are based on the personal website. So we do go over this in our website overview class. So if you have missed that, we do have those on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to go back up to the top here, and now we're going to click into Edit My Website. So most of the time when you go into your site, you're going to get this pop up for a little tour. We can just click on Explore on my own to get rid of this. However, you can always access that by clicking on the tour button in the top right corner. So going through the consumer page, that automatically took us to our personal site, which we can see our site URL up here. So to switch this over to the team site settings, we can go to the top of this page and click on our name here. And then we can find a link to our team site. So if we click on this, that's going to switch all of this over to the team website. So this is where you can make changes to the team site, add additional pages to the team site, anything that you want to add to your website here. So for the team site, some of the default pages are the same as the personal site, which we go over in our website overview. However, I will touch on those briefly. So we have the About the Agent page. So that's going to be the About Me page that pulls from the profile. We have the Meet the Team page. This is just for the team sites. So this is where your team members will be listed. We have the home page, and then we have a blog page. So we'll just start from the top of this list and work our way down, so we're not going back and forth here. So I'm going to go ahead and click into the About the Agent page. So this is going to pull in the Rainmakers information. So if you are wondering why it's not showing your headshot photo or your details, that's because it's pulling from the Rainmakers details, and those will need to be adjusted in the Rainmakers personal marketing profile. You do have the option to hide these items from the page. So we can change this from display to hide and hide that agent profile. We can hide the bio information if we want to, or the agent details. So you can pick and choose what you want to show on this page. However, just keep in mind, it is pulling from the Rainmakers information. Whenever you make any changes to any of your pages, always be sure that you are clicking on the Save button in the top right corner. That way you don't lose any changes that you have made to your page. So now we're going to head back to our dashboard. So next we have the Meet the Team page. So for the Meet the Team page here, the first thing we have here is the company profile. So this is going to be your background images for the header here, which is similar to the hero images on the homepage of your site. So you can add images by either clicking the Upload Files link here, or if you already have images uploaded, you can click on Add Item, and you can find all of your uploaded images there. So anytime you upload images on your site, those should stay saved within this section whenever you go to add additional images to areas on your website pages. Next under that is going to be the Meet the Team section. And again, you do have the option to display or hide any of these items on any of the pages. So if there are certain items that you don't want to show up on the page, you can simply just hide those. So you have the title here. So you can customize this title however you would like to. If you want to customize that with your team name, or if you want to leave that as Meet the Team or something completely different, you can use whatever verbiage you prefer. And then you have the option to add a description here. So you can customize this description however you would like to. And then below that is going to be your team members. So any members that are on your team can be added to this section. And this is going to pull in their details based on their personal marketing profiles. So if any of your team members don't have a updated headshot photo, or maybe their contact information is incorrect, or their website or social media links aren't working, then you just want to direct them back to their marketing profile to get those items updated. Any marketing profile updates typically feed over to the live site within 15 to 30 minutes after updating. as you are adding your team members, you can change the order that they appear. So we can click and drag on these to rearrange them. And then to add team members, we can click on the plus symbol here and click on the search by name text box. And any team members that have not already been added will be in this list here. So we can simply click on their name to add them to the profile. And then if we want to remove them from the profile, we can simply click on the red line and remove them. If you have any team members that are not in command that you want to add to your Meet the Team page, so maybe you have an admin that does not have a command account, but you want them to be shown on this page, you can add them manually under additional partners here. So we can click on the little plus symbol here, and then we can click on create new. And once you create them, they will show up in this list here. So we'll go ahead and create new here. So you're going to enter their first name and their last name. And then you also have the option to put in their full name on one line, their job title on the team. You can upload their headshot photo and then their contact information down here. So their phone number and their email address. And then once you have that all filled out, just be sure that you click on the publish button in the top right. So your save and publish buttons are always going to be green up here. And then once you have that saved, you will get a green banner at the top letting you know that it was published. And then we can just click on the backlink up in the top left. And then that submission would then be available within this drop down here. So any of these are going to be added to the bottom of the list down here. So you can reorder the ones up here in the featured members, and then any additional ones will be at the end. However, you can reorder these at the bottom. They just cannot be moved up in front of these command members. So to remove those, you can just click on that red dash there. And that's going to be our Meet the Team section. And then under that, you have the option to add preferred vendors. So this is very similar to the preferred vendors on the personal websites. So you can add in vendors by clicking on the link here. This is set up through a third-party platform that we have partnered with called MoveEasy. So if we click on this link, this will open up in a new tab for us. And so to add vendors, we can click on the Add Vendor button in the top right here. So you can enter the vendor name, the vendor website. If there is a specific contact name, you can add that in here. Their email address, their phone number. And then you will choose the vendor type. So there is a long list of vendor types here. So it's typically easier to just type in what you are looking for. And then you can also enter the counties that they serve here, as well as their vendor logo. So once you have that filled out, you can click on the Add Vendor button at the bottom, and then those will appear under the preferred vendors list on the site. So these are going to be at the bottom of the site under the Meet the Team section right here. And there is also a toggle to show Market Center partners. So if your Market Center staff has added vendors within the Market Center partners section on the back end, then you can pull those into your site automatically by toggling that on there. So that's going to be personal preference there. And you can also hide this from your profile if you don't want to have preferred vendors showing up on this page. So once you have your changes made, again, just be sure that you click on that Save button in the top right. And then we can head back to our dashboard. So after the Meet the Team page, we have our home page. So this is going to be very similar as the home page on the personal command sites. So I'm not going to get too detailed here since we cover this in our other classes. We'll just kind of do a brief overview here. So you have your title, which is going to be the text here in front of the hero images. You have your hero images here, and you have the option to add custom images if you would prefer to use your own. Under that, you have featured listings. So you can change the title if you would like to, or you can leave that just as the default featured listings title. Same with the description. So you can add in your own custom description, or you can leave that set to the default. So you want to select the center point location that you want your featured listings to pull in from for your team site. And then you will choose the maximum number of listings to display here, as well as the search mile radius that you want to set. You can also manually add listings. So if your team has active listings that you want to show on featured listings, you can add them manually here, and those would show up at the very beginning of the list. So you can just click on that little plus symbol there to get those added, and you can remove them by clicking the little red line next to the listing. You also have additional filter options for these listings. So if you want to set a certain criteria of what type of listings you want to show here, you can add in all of these additional filters here. Under that is going to be testimonials. So you can customize the title, just like the featured listings if you would like to, or you can leave that as the default. You can add a description if you would like, so that will be text that shows up under the title here. And then you can choose how you would like to sort them, or you can manually sort those. And then how many you want to display. So you can have up to 20 testimonials at a time with the new KW sites. So that's going to be the same between the personal sites and the team sites. And then under that is where you can add in your featured testimonials. So if your testimonials have been captured on the new website, then you will be able to find those in this list here. And you can just simply click on the name to add that to the site. However, if you are looking to manually add testimonials, maybe you want to add them from your personal site or maybe from your Zillow reviews or Google reviews, then you can click on the Create New button and you can add those in manually instead. Under that is going to be the blog information. So this is going to be the same as the personal sites here. So every KW website is provided with this 4-part buyer's guide blog. You do have the option to hide this if you don't want to have that on there. And you can also create your own custom blog posts as well. So again, you can change the title if you would like to, the description. You can have up to 10 blog posts at a time. And you can set filters if you would like to. And you can also reorder them if you want them to appear in a different order. And then to add additional blogs, you can just click on that plus symbol there. And you can look for those blogs that you want to add. So once again, any changes we make, we want to make sure that we are clicking that save button in the top right. And once that saves for us, we can go back to our dashboard here. And then the other option here is going to be the blog page. So the blog page is very similar to the blog section on the homepage. So you have the option to adjust the title and the description if you would like to. You can show up to 10 blogs at a time, and you can add those by clicking the plus symbol here. So very similar to the home page. The only difference between the blog list page and the home page is the home page is only going to give a preview of 4 of them. And then there will be a button that says read more. And then that's going to take them to this blog list page, which will show up to 10 blogs right on this page. So now we'll head back to our dashboard here. So those are going to be your main default pages for your team site. So the last couple things that we will go over are going to be on the back end. So if we go to the top left corner and click on these 3 lines here, we then want to go under admin and organization site. So we first have our name here. So if by some chance the team name is not reflecting correctly in the top left corner of your live website, this is where you can adjust that. You have the option to change the theme if you want to change the theme of your website. We don't typically recommend adjusting the market center name here or the Rainmaker name. And then you have the section for Google Analytics ID. So I kind of touched on before with the marketing profile that there was a section in the marketing profile for this, as well as the back end of the website. So this is where you can find that in the back end of the site to add your tracking ID in to be sure that your analytics is working properly. And then if you add any additional pages to your site, you'll be able to see those down here under the navigation section, and you can reorder these for the way that they appear within the More menu. So we can head over to the live site and take a look at what that looks like. So we'll just go to the top here and click on our website domain here. So here's our live site here. So we have our hero images and our IDX search here. We have our featured properties, our featured testimonials, and the blog section down here. So you'll see it is showing 4 blogs, and then there's this read more button. So that's going to go to the blog list page, which is the blog page here in the top right. And then under more is where those additional pages are held. So when you reorder those in those navigation settings, that's how you can reorder them in this list if you would like to. The only one that cannot be moved is the leave a review. That's always going to be at the bottom of this more menu. We have our Meet the Team page. So you'll have your background image here. We have all of our team details down here and the preferred vendors section down here. And then the search properties and the login option in the top right here are going to be the same as they are on the personal sites. So this is where your clients can come in and register on your website. And then the last thing I will show you on the live site is in the top right corner, there is this little globe icon so that your clients have the option to change the language on the website if they want to adjust the language on here. It typically adjusts it right away. It looks like it didn't update immediately there. We might have to refresh. It did update the menu items up here. And then we can just change that back over and that'll update for us. So that about covers us for the team sites today. If you run into any trouble getting these set up or have any questions, you can always reach out to us anytime at all at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we're happy to jump in and help. I hope you have a great rest of your week.